Now baby, when I look at you, baby girl, you're so beautiful. Now when I take a look at you, know that you are beautiful.
Purchase your
I see the
tracks
sexy
today.
lady on the floor, on the table, whenever she goes, man, she on the label. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to my beautiful subscribers and viewers. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Today we have another video that we're gonna react to, but it's not common request. I saw this on YouTube, sorry. I didn't really watch it, but I saw this on YouTube, and I just wanted to know how Vodka Ruined Russia. If you really want to support me, down below, you can check out my music, and there's a PayPal down below. I deleted the Patreon, I think, so I'm just gonna use PayPal. You could donate whatever you want. It would be massively appreciated to help the channel. But today we're gonna react to how Vodka ruined Russia. I don't know how it ruined Russia. I have no idea why it would ruin, but I think the stereotype is very high in Russia that people from around the world believe that Russia is drinking so much vodka that it's just unbelievable. But without further ado, let's get into this video and see why Vodka ruined Russia. Let's go. Okay, let's go. Oh, we got some beer. Yeah, definitely beer. Beautiful beer.
When you search through history books, you will find many anecdotes on the role that alcohol and other addictive substances played in shaping societies throughout human history.
Let me pause here, man. I actually saw a video on YouTube that says, "Why beer saved the world?" Kind of weird. I don't know why it saved the world, but it probably did. I don't know. It probably hurt the world a lot with rape and everything, because people, when you get drunk, you do some stupid stuff. Like, you do some stupid stuff when you get drunk. So it must have contributed to a lot of stupid things in the world. Just saying. Let's go.
Those of ancient Egypt paid their farm laborers in bread and beer. Greek wine was one of the most prized commodities of the ancient world, so when the Carthaginians sold their low-quality wine abroad, they falsely labeled the amphoras as Greek wine. The British notoriously forced access and control over the 19th century Chinese economy by illegally selling opium to its people. But no historic relationship between a society and an addictive substance is as fascinating, sinister, and barely talked about as the relationship between Russia and vodka.
Let me pause here. I already know there's some Russian down below that are gonna be like, no, our country did not. No, vodka is good for our country. Vodka is Russia. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see what he has to say, man. Stop bitching and complaining. Let's go.
There is nothing special about vodka. It has no taste, no flavor, no smell. It's just ethyl alcohol, simply produced from wheat or rye. And these simple, not too special facts of vodka is exactly what made it so special. Its simplicity allowed it to be produced and consumed en masse by simple peasants throughout Eastern Europe beginning in the 8th century. Any peasant could make it and any peasant could sell it, until the 1480s. Until then, the lands we know as Russia were a set of small independent principalities and kingdoms, until Ivan I became the ruler of the Duchy of Moscow and by conquest united the principalities under one Russian kingdom, of which he became the Tsar. Ivan established a centralized government with a centralized autocratic rule controlled by the king. And as he built his state, he noticed the popularity of that cheap, intoxicating spirit amongst his peasants and had an idea. He banned the production and sale of alcohol by peasants and declared the production and sale of alcohol a royal privilege. All alcohol was now the property of the Russian crown.
Let me pause here, man. That's normal in history when you see it. Like, people, they having fun. People don't have a lot of money or anything like that, and they invent something just to have fun and just to, you know, relax and everything. And then the big people with big money, they're gonna see it and they're gonna say, oh, they having fun, huh? Let's take it from them and let's make it royal and let's make it so they cannot get it. That's the most stupidest thing, man. You gotta have fun with vodka when you drink it, man, because you get fucked up when you drink that shit. Let's go.
Only be produced by and bought from the Russian crown. This was a guaranteed source of revenue for the Russian royal family, a monopoly on a cheap product that everyone wanted and which could be very cheaply produced en masse. Throughout the centuries, the Tsars opened vodka plant after vodka plant, pumping out cheap alcohol while filling their own pockets. A system that was so profitable that when Catherine the Great rewarded lesser nobles for their service, she didn't give them land.
She gave them vodka.
but vodka production and selling plants to cash in on this lucrative monopoly. A system that lasted for almost 428 years. And as much as this may sound like just a mere little interesting historic anecdote on a long-gone mercantile economic system, there is far more to it than that. Something sinister, the reverberations of which still echo throughout Russian society to this day. Alcohol is a poison, harmful to the soul and body. Therefore, it is a great sin to drink alcohol and to offer it to others. And it is even a greater sin to produce and sell this poison. This phrase is from Tolstoy. When Tsar Nicholas II had to rescind powers to an elected body in 1905, one of the first things the Russian liberals and social democrats who were newly elected into a position of power wished to do was to combat the massive alcoholism problems of Russia.
Let me pause here, man. As long as you have control on who consume it, and you have some control in what people's behavior is, and there are some consequences for when you're drunk, did you do these things. But you really can't, when you have alcohol, it's a free will. That's why I believe in democracy, because you can do whatever you want to do. Nobody really, prevents you from doing anything. Of course, murder, of course, tax fraud, of course, there's all these things that benefit not our people. You know what I mean? But you can say what you want to say. You can drink what you want to drink. In Denmark, especially in Denmark, you could drink open in the streets and everything. It's okay, as long as you clean up after yourself, of course. The police will to give you a ticket if you throw anything, and they will to stop you and play tough if you throw anything. So don't throw anything. I never throw anything anymore, man. I just put it in the garbage can. It's easy. It takes like 5 seconds. Easy. But what I wanted to say is that alcohol is poison. Of course it is. It's poison. It's going to take all your water out of the body, and it's going to make you insane, dizzy, all these kind of things, and make you want to do stupid stuff for some reason. And very good mix with cigarettes for some weird reason. I think there's a conspiracy there. But yeah, really can't ban it from people, because people, they need like something to relax. So when you look at Thailand, where my fiance is from, people, they drink it not to be alcoholics, but actually just to relax when they come home, because alcohol helps them relax. So alcohol is not really poison. I think alcohol drink now and then is very good to make you relax and everything. Now people, they can say what you want to say about, oh, you are alcoholic and whatever, but that's the social standards that you live by. I don't live by. I love drinking beer and relax, man. It is what it is. But yeah, alcohol is definitely not poison. Let's go.
The first step was to ask the famous and revered novelist to write a warning label to be printed on every single bottle of vodka.
Oh, okay.
The Tsar, who owned the entire alcohol industry, refused. Ooh. Because the system the Tsars established over the course of 400 years was not only a source of revenue. By controlling the entire market, they also determined the price and consequently kept the population drunk on a constant mass supply of cheap and widely available vodka. A peasant who wastes his money on vodka is too drunk to think of his situation and how he got into it.
Let me pause here. I just saw a video from British and Bald, or whatever his name is. Go over, check his channel. I can't really remember what he is. But he visits Russia and everything, and he goes to the supermarket. There's a lot of vodka brands in Russia. Like, there's a freaky fucking ton of load of them. In Denmark, there's only like Smirnoff and then slave vodka, as we call it, because it's get made by potatoes or some shit like that. Man, it's kind of crazy to see how many vodka brands Russia actually have, man. So don't say it's not a problem over in Russia, because it must really be, since you have so many vodka brands and yeah. So yeah. But that's kind of crazy to see, man. I know there's many Russians in the comments that are going to be like, no, we didn't do that. Russia's the best. Russia's the best, like you always do, right? You can't really critique your own country because you love it too much. I understand that, but sometimes your comments is just, wow. Let's go.
To organize any protest against his circumstances. So drunk, he beats his kids into being drunks like him, and so drunk, he beats his wife into submission. In the end, that peasant is a peasant in service of ensuring the security of the regime that keeps him drunk. The Tsars of Russia established a profitable system of state-subsidized alcoholism, which not only ensured them personal wealth, but the security of their regime. They were in essence drug dealers, or at least relied on the same addiction-fed market that a drug dealer would rely on. Alcohol addiction is a horrible disease. It increases blood pressure, inflamed and swollen blood vessels, kidney, pancreas and liver failure that leads to an excess of fat cells creating deformed abdomens. But far from just the individual effects, alcohol is also part of a vicious social circle of misery. Nobody wakes up one day and decides to become an addict. Addiction is preconditioned on misery and despair. It appears where there is despair and hopelessness. And perversely...
Let me pause here. That's why most of, in America, most of the ghetto quarters like Detroit or like ghettos in certain areas of America, there's also always a liquor store, no matter what. Because poor people, they drink a lot, they have a lot of problems and everything. You don't need to be the smartest guy to understand that. And when you do have problems, do help to drink, but the problem is you wake up the next morning with the same problem and then you drink again. It's like running away from your problems and not really face them. There's no end to it, man. So please don't get that alcoholism in you, man. It's just crazy, but let's go.
Increases that hopelessness. The alcoholic not only becomes more hopeless and miserable themselves, but will contribute to the misery and hopelessness of those around
That's
you.
true.
Perplexingly, addiction on a massive social scale creates social strife and misery, while simultaneously robbing those affected by it of the means to do something about it. This is why the drug trade comes with violence, social decline and disaffection of communities, because it uses misery as an economic commodity.
That is so true. That is so true.
It is because of this, and largely forgotten today, that the Russian Communist Party was a prohibitionist party that advocated for the banning of liquor. In early Soviet propaganda, you will find this reflected, as well as in old Soviet movies, in which the revolutionaries smash liquor bottles as if they were chains that had constrained them. Leninism was strictly prohibitionist and declared alcohol to be a vice by which the bourgeoisie subjugated and controlled the proletariat. Consequently, after the Bolshevik takeover, the Tsar's vodka plants were all shut down and closed. For a while. When Stalin seized power, he reopened the vodka plants,
Of course
started
he did.
filling bottles again, and distributed them
Let me
cheaply.
pause, man. He needs some economy for feeding his war, man. He can't really, but he also need the soldiers to be something like, there's a lot of pain in the battlefield, and Russia contributes a lot to the death of, the wars. And basically, people, they need something to, just drink and just forget about everything what they've been through. Or maybe they lose a leg, maybe they lose a kid, maybe they lose something else, and they just need the vodka just to, contribute with it. Which is not a good idea, but people, they did it back then. That's the crazy part, though. Let's go.
Amongst the public. Stalin pretty much rebuilt the old Tsarist system of subsidized alcoholism that the revolutionaries had tried to dismantle. He just renamed it to the People's Vodka. In a very cynical move, the Russian people already had a people's vodka for 400 years. This series of events is commented on by George Orwell in his famous book Animal Farm, an often overlooked scene where the animals in their revolution destroy all the alcohol they found in the house of the farmer Jones, except for Napoleon, who steals himself away with some liquor. And the Tsarist system, which was re-established by Stalin, remained in place throughout the remaining 60 years of Soviet history. Its effects were most strongly felt starting in the 1970s and throughout the 1980s during the Soviet Union's increasing economic decline. In those days there was not much to work for, there was not much to celebrate, there was a lost war still being fought in Afghanistan, and there was not much for the state to sell. But there was always money to be made when socialism fails by selling bottles of cheap vodka to a miserable public.
True.
The recent HBO series Chernobyl did an excellent job at hinting to its audience how by the late 1980s Russian society had a deep-seated and systematic alcoholism problem. The Stolshinaya vodka bottles you see in the series are also somewhat famous, because you couldn't close them anymore once you took the cap off.
Whoa, what?
They were made that way because in production the assumption was that the average Russian, once opening a vodka bottle, would finish it in one sitting, therefore closing the bottle wasn't necessary.
Let me pause here. That's kind of crazy to understand that the manufacturers actually made the bottles, so you have to drink them you have to drink the whole bottle. So when you go down in the grocery store, you really can't just say, okay, I'm gonna take one sip, or I'm gonna save this, or something like that. Of course, you could do some things with it. You could close it up or something, but wow, that's kind of crazy that you just expect the Russian just to sit down and just build the vodka, man. They definitely had a vodka problem. I'm not saying that everybody is drinking. I'm not saying that this is not a stereotype, but the facts is not wrong. I haven't really set me into this object yet, but I really do believe it, because there's only one stereotype that comes out, and the stereotype is always real, but it's not applies to everybody. But there's a stereotype in that country that is like that, but it's not everybody who is like that, and that's the problem with stereotypes. They actually, consume the whole world. But I do believe that Russia had a vodka problem. I really do believe that, but I don't believe that everybody has it. Of course not. Russians is not just drunk people walking around. They're actually very nice people. I see down in the comments there's very nice Russian. Of course there's some drunk people, but it is what it is, man. They actually say they're drunk in the comments. It's crazy. Let's go.
By the late 1980s, the alcoholism problem reached such an extent that Gorbachev, in desperation, enacted a prohibition of liquor. This resulted in the mass appearance of illegal vodka plants throughout the country and was therefore abandoned. Today, almost 30 years after the collapse of the Soviet Union, the problems remain. The system of state-subsidized alcoholism no longer exists.
Let me pause here. So do you believe it's true in Russia that they drink a lot of vodka and there's a problem? That the health is declining and Russia's basically drinking itself to death? I really don't believe you believe that, because there's a lot of Russians in the comments down below that's gonna go nationalistic on me. Because they're gonna go crazy on me. They're gonna say, what'd you say, huh? What you say about Russia, huh? I see the fucking comments, man. It's annoying as hell, but it is what it is, man. I love you guys and you already know it. But comment down below what you think. Does Russia has a vodka problem or they don't have a vodka problem? Please let me know. Let's go.
The vodka plants, though, were privatized and are owned by oligarchs who still sell the vodka at cheap prices. No measures were taken by the Russian government to stem the benign systematic alcoholism and excessive alcohol consumption of the Russian public. The ramifications of such are of course felt in crime rates, productivity, and social decline and misery. Russia will eventually not get around having to confront a legacy of 400 years of alcoholism. And this is more than just a history lesson, let alone restricted to Russia. Think of the current opioid crisis in the United States. How the current response to social misery is to dish out pills to help people stomach through their days and lives. How a fully legal dependency on addictive substances was created in the United States at a profit that uses social and individual misery as a
lot of dirty things in the medicine
world. How it is largely ignored and not a topic of contention. Drug-riddled and miserable communities often find themselves within such a state because it is the misery and hopelessness that creates the perfect market conditions for addictive substances, which consequently increase the misery and violence while robbing communities of the ability to rid themselves thereof.
That is so true.
The entirety of our understanding of addiction and how it plays into society through the ills it creates is largely flawed and dominated far too much by a judgmental standard that reduces the problem to individuals to be punished rather than social ills in need of solutions. If you're interested in this topic and want to know more, I recommend to you to read Drink, Cultural History of Alcohol by Ian Gates.
That's crazy, man. If you want to send me some Russian vodka, anything, type the email down below, man. Let's do it. Send me some vodka, man. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Let's pause here. It's done. If you want to send me any gift, any vodka, anything that you want me to try from Russia, anything like that, the email is down below. You're gonna text me and then you're gonna get like an address and you can send whatever you want to send. But yeah, I just want to say, please leave a comment down below what you think about Russians' vodka problem. Do you think there's a problem? Do you think there's not a problem? Do you think Russia's is doing fine? Is Russia drinking too much? What are they doing? You know what I mean? But I know there's going to come a lot of comment that says, we don't drink a lot. What is drinking a lot? Russia's perfect. Russia's perfect. Russia's perfect. I dig it, because there's a lot of comments down below that is like that. So yeah, it is what it is, man. I know you got nationalistic views, like nationalistic views. And it's just beautiful to see. Of course, you love your country, man. It is what it is. But this was kind of funny, man. How vodka ruined Russia. Not funny like that, but like really in the educational standpoint that, you know, like alcohol actually could do these things. That's the crazy part. I actually never think it. I thought that Russia had it under control, you know what I mean? But there's so many greedy peoples, of course, no matter if you have socialism, communism, or, you know, capitalism, there's always corruption. Don't be blind. Don't be blind. But many people are. That's why. Many people are stupid and blind. That's just how it is. But yeah. Anyway, that was a beautiful video. I really did enjoy that. If you like this video and you like this reaction, please hit the like button down below. And if you really want to support this channel, we almost at 4,000 subscribers. And I can't believe it, man. It's just going so quick. It's going so fucking quick. We almost had like 2,000 subscribers over 3-4 weeks or something like that. It's crazy, man. Even less than that, I think. So yeah. Anyway, if you really like this video and you like this channel, please do subscribe and hit that notification button so you become a member of the Jelly Goon Squad and you get updated on the newest videos that comes to this channel, of course. Anyway, guys and girls, I'm gonna see you until next time. Don't get drunk.